Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing a lot of talk online lately about people who disagree on whether or not a franchise or series should change and adapt and become something different as it develops and grows and as the series goes on. We're all familiar with these franchises, the Star Wars franchise, the MCU, all of these franchises that have been going on for a long time with multiple books, movies, video games. And there's a big debate going on between people who are all pissed off because the series has developed into something that it wasn't, or the newer installments in the series have violated the world rules, and other people are saying that this doesn't matter and that, you can't expect it to stay the same all the time, and that internal consistency, internal logic, and internal congruency within a series or a franchise is really not that important, and it really just amounts to a nitpick. So today, that's what we're going to address, because as a professional fiction author, I am uniquely qualified to address this and to elaborate on whether or not it's important that a series or franchise stick to its own rules and follow its own internal congruence. So what you have to understand is that the art of fiction is a social contract between the creator and the audience. This could be a book, it could be a story that happens in a video game, it could be a movie, it could be a TV show. Regardless of what the medium is, story on its own, the art of fiction, is a social contract between the creator and the audience. The audience invests their time, attention, usually their money, and a significant investment of emotional capital in following the story. And in exchange, the author or creator, whoever it is offering a warranty to the audience, and that they're going to fulfill certain contractual obligations in exchange for the audience's investment. And the first and most important contractual obligation that the writer or creator must follow is to stick to the internal consistency of the story. This is the absolute foundation of audience investment. And we all know this. Everyone watching me and listening to me right now, you already know this. The whole reason that you invest in these stories is because of the internal coherence that is established in the very beginning. The nature of the characters' personalities, the rules of the world that the creator builds, all of that happens in the very first paragraphs of the very first page or the very first scenes of a movie or whatever it is, from the very beginning. This is the only reason why the audience invests, is because of the rules, the consistency, and the character development that is established at the beginning. And the longer it goes on, the more consistent the world and the characters and the story is, the more the audience invests. And that investment builds and escalates over time. And this is how you wind up with a situation like Season 8 of Game of Thrones, where all of the rules and all of the characterization that has been built up over the entire series is completely demolished. And the audience is furious because it's a violation of everything that the audience has invested in the story up until now. We've all been told that this particular character has this personality and this set of values. This character has this personality and this set of values. And the author or creator can't just come along and destroy all that and expect the audience to continue to invest. The audience is going to feel betrayed, and rightfully so. You know, a lot of these series and franchises, they have gone so far off the rails that the original fans who originally invested in the core idea that the series was founded on, they aren't following it anymore. And it's new people coming in who aren't familiar with the original world. And they're the ones who are saying this internal consistency doesn't matter because they're not the ones invested in it. And this makes absolutely no sense because the creators and studios are deliberately courting these franchises for the original fan base. They want the original fan base, and they're the ones that are being betrayed by these changes. So this is the first and most important contractual obligation. When a writer puts pen to paper, or you sit down in front of your computer, or you create a screenplay or a TV show or a movie, you are making a promise to the audience that you're creating this world, that it's going to be consistent, and the rules and ideas and characters that the audience is investing in are going to continue to be consistent. That is the creator's contractual obligation, and the audience is absolutely 100% within their rights to withdraw that investment if the creator does not stick to that consistency. And the second absolutely critical obligation that the creator is making is that they're going to provide a satisfying ending. I've talked about this in other places on my platform. A satisfying ending is not optional. It's not something that you can just dispense with. The satisfying ending is something that has to be baked in from the beginning. You can't just start creating and throwing spitballs at the wall and hoping that something sticks and wind up with a satisfying ending. That doesn't happen. Whatever you do at the end of the story, the audience needs to be able to turn around and see the entirety of the work and know with absolute certainty that you led them to that conclusion on purpose, that you planned it that way. You can't just keep stringing the person along and then dump some nonsense in their lap at the end and expect them to be satisfied. That's not the way it works. And that's not the promise that you made at the beginning. The writer or creator is making a promise at the very beginning. If you invest in me, if you follow my story, if you come on this journey with me, I'm going to take you somewhere good. I'm going to give you something at the end that's going to make your investment worthwhile. And you can't do that if you didn't plan it ahead of time. We all know what these series are. The end with a completely unsatisfying ending. And we can all look back and see that these creators had no idea what they were doing. They had no ending in mind. Their ideal was to just keep on going forever with no ending. And they do this because they want to make money. They want to wring the audience of every penny they can get, and the writers aren't thinking about the ending. So they're not able to set it up. They're not able to add any kind of Easter eggs or foreshadowing because they have no idea where it's going. And that is a violation of the social contract. You know, we have this idea in our minds that, that this is the way it's supposed to be, that this is what fiction is, that if a series starts out really well, it must be a really great story. It's not. A story is a middle, a beginning, and an end. You cannot write a story just with the beginning, or just with the beginning and the middle. That's not what a story is. The ending is everything. The ending puts the entire series in context. And it is at the ending, after the person finishes and they look back over the entirety of the work, that they finally get what the creator was intending to do and what they were trying to accomplish. And nine times out of 10, you turn around, you look at the work, and you realize that the writer had absolutely no clue. And that they completely disrespected the audience by stringing them along to an ending that was not what was promised. And we have all seen movies, series, books that did have a satisfying ending, and you can tell. You can tell when the creator deliberately constructed it and planted the seeds along the way to lead the audience to the conclusion that the writer wanted them to come to. So I hope this helps someone. That's just my perspective on the situation. I'll see you next week.